Thursday, March the 21st. Lake level still about the same as it's been the last 2-3 weeks, about 9, 15 and 3/4. It's been real consistent there. The good thing is the water temperature is finally starting to warm up, and the bite's starting to pick up with it too. I think the fishing has pretty much been extremely tough, especially if you haven't been throwing the A-rig. You know, there's probably more fish being caught on an A-rig and good fish on it. But a lot of other things starting to happen, and they should get better, you know, every day. But the water temperature yesterday, I put in down by the dam, and it was about 45, 46 degrees. But once I got up in the upper Long Creek, up in Arkansas, I had 52, 53 degree water up there. And all the river arms, whether it be Long Creek, the Kings River, the James River, have got excellent color, and you'll find the more stained and colored water you get into, the warmer water temperatures you find it. And like today was a gorgeous day. So, I mean, there's probably some 55, 56 degree water up in them upper river arms. And that's where my best bite has been as far as numbers of fish. You know, seems like I got to weed through a lot of fish to catch keepers, but it's the areas where at least I'm getting bit. It's still pretty tough down on the clear, you know, on the clear ends of the lake, but my bites have been a little bit, the quality's been better down on the clear end. I'm having trouble getting the quality fish up in the river arms. But what I'm catching them up on the river arms are a lot of crankbaits, some spinnerbait. I haven't got much of a bottom bite going yet. You know, I've been flipping a jig and throwing a Ned rig some around a lot of the laydowns and structure. But it seems like it's a reaction bait. And Strike King, I've been throwing this new little square bill that they got. Been throwing a lot of red in my crankbaits. Here's a wiggle wart that's red and green. Been throwing a rock crawler, the 55 model. And then also that new, I think it's a curved 55 that 6 Cents makes, has been working good. And I'm throwing them along the bluffs and on the bluff ends. I'm still not really catching them where I think they should be just yet on them rock transitions, but I think every day and every hour throughout the afternoons, I think there's going to be more and more fish continue to move up on those transition banks as they get, you know, ready to start moving in the spawning areas. Some of the quality fish we've caught, you know, even though we're a couple weeks away from spawning, don't be afraid to go back into them shallow pockets, the backs of the creeks, and fish in there as well. When this weather is stable like this, them big females will start cruising around up in there, sunning, not necessarily getting ready to spawn, but they'll be in the areas that they're gonna spawn. They'll be up there feeding a little bit. The best thing that can happen for us, like I say, is this consistent weather. Now, I am catching some fish on jerkbait up in the river arms as well. Color that seems to be working pretty good is like the old table rock shad, which is purple and chartreuse. Or this is a Megabass 110. I think it's a French pearl is what they call it. It's like a pearl white, a little bit of orange on the bottom. But like a Norman flake color will work good up there in that stained water, you know, something that the fish can see. Now down lake, ones that are working good is just a Spro Blue Bandit, I think. It's got a little blue back with a little chartreuse stripe down the side. And just a lot of your natural, like a Pro Blue, a lot of your shad colors. If it's sunny out, I like something that's got a little bit of flash. If it's cloudy, I'll go more to a solid color. And these fish have been mainly secondary points. I'm getting a few off the bluff ends. I'm not getting very many bites, but it's definitely a lot better quality on my jerkbait fish. And the Alabama rig fish as well. The A-rig and jerkbait fish kind of seem like they're in the same area, but the A-rig you might try a little bit deeper over some deeper timber, and even on some gravel flats. If you know where there's brush piles, say in anywhere from 15 to 25 foot of water, on flat gravel banks, you know, like what you would normally fish for smallmouth on, that's a good area to throw. If the brush pile's too deep for the jerkbait, throw an Alabama rig. If you're not throwing an A-rig, what I'm starting to catch them on too is a little underspin, either an 1/8 ounce, 3/16 or 1/4 ounce, or just a straight ball jig head. And this one I've got a 5-inch milky white, or it's kind of like a salt and pepper Yamamoto grub on it. But I'm throwing a lot of Strike King Rage swimmers, or a Kitech, a 2.8 or 3.4. It depends on the color of the water. That one I had right there, I was throwing up in the river arms where the water's off colored. I like that white. When I get down in the clear water, I like something more natural. Looks like a shad, almost like a translucent bait. Seems to be working better. But like I say, the A-rig in these past few tournaments, they had a tournament yesterday, and it had really good weights. I think it was, 21 pounds, and 19 was second. But during the weekend, they had a 160 boat tournament. I think it took 18 to win, but 10th place was like 11 pounds. So the weight really dropped quick. It's still not anywhere up to par for this time of year, but I think we're going to see a lot better weights in the next week or two. Also, I'd like to mention the new tackle store in the Shell Knob area at Harbor House. They've got a bunch of Spro rock crawlers. They got 5-fish lures, jigs, Ned rig heads and stuff in there. And Ned rigs, I haven't been catching very many fish on it, but I'm throwing it quite a little bit, because any day when them fish start to move up, that Ned rig's really going to become a big player, as will that little Kitech on a grub head and that underspin. There are going to be some real key baits to catching quality fish and numbers as well. But Harder House is also going to be setting up a tackle store in their Berryville, Arkansas store as well, I think the 1st of May. And then sometime after that, in the summer, they'll be at Kimberling City Harder House. We'll be having tackle. So if you're in those areas, stop by, check out, see what they got. They'll have, for whatever area, whether it's the Beaver Lake down in Berryville, whatever's hot at that end of the lake, the guys will have there. Also at Shell Knob, you got Pro's Choice down there too. But until next week, good luck, good fishing.